All right, let's talk about something that's on the mind of anyone planning to retire soon, especially around 2026, and that's inflation. It's the one thing that can really mess up even the best laid plans. But what if you could get a retirement paycheck that actually grows as prices go up? Today, we're diving into something called inflation-protected annuities. Let's find out if they're the shield your savings have been looking for. And really, this is the question, isn't it? It's the one that probably keeps a lot of us up at night. You've done everything right. You've worked hard, you've saved, you've invested. But when it comes down to it, is it all going to be enough to last you for 20, 30, or maybe even 40 years? And this right here, this is the real challenge. Inflation, it's sneaky. It's like this tiny, slow leak in a tire. It doesn't feel like a big deal day to day. But over the long haul, over decades, it completely changes the game. That nest egg that felt so comfortable can start to feel like it's just barely enough to get by. Okay, so what if you could flip the script? What if your retirement paycheck could actually fight back against those rising costs? Well, there's a financial tool that's making a serious comeback for that exact reason. Let's get into it. It's called an inflation-protected annuity, or IPA for short. And at its core, the idea is really simple. You make a deal with an insurance company, you give them a chunk of your savings, a lump sum, and in return, they promise to pay you a regular income for the rest of your life. And here's the kicker. That payment goes up whenever inflation goes up. Yeah, this is the perfect way to think about it. This isn't like buying a stock and hoping for the best. Nope. This is about creating your own private pension, a pension that comes with a built-in automatic cost of living raise year after year. It's designed to protect your spending power.
So why the buzz about these right now? Well, it all comes down to hitting some really key retirement goals. First, you want to preserve your purchasing power. You want $1 today to feel like $1 10 years from now. Second, you want to get rid of that nagging fear of outliving your money. And finally, wouldn't it be nice to just simplify things? To have a baseline of income you can count on, no matter what the markets are doing?
Okay, so how does this income actually grow? It's not magic, but it is pretty clever. Let's pop the hood for a minute and see exactly how the engine on this thing works. It's actually a pretty straightforward process. Step 1, you make that initial investment. Step 2, the payments, your paychecks, start coming in. Now here comes the important part. Step 3, once a year, the insurance company looks at an official inflation number, usually the Consumer Price Index or CPI. And then step 4, whatever that inflation number was, let's say it was 3%, bam, your payments for the entire next year go up by 3%. Simple as that. And this is the real secret sauce. It's the power of compounding. See, the raise you get isn't based on your original payment from day one. No way. It's calculated on top of last year's already increased payment. And that effect, year after year, over 20 or 30 years, it's huge. We're talking about a massive difference in the total income you receive over your lifetime. Now, let's get real for a second. This all sounds amazing, right? A paycheck that never loses value. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. There's a critical trade-off you absolutely have to understand. This is not a one-size-fits-all solution, so let's figure out if it's the right fit for you. This chart basically sums up the entire decision. In one corner, you've got a regular fixed annuity. Its main selling point? You get more money right out of the gate, a higher starting paycheck. But that amount is frozen in time. It will never, ever change. In the other corner, the IPA. You have to accept a lower initial payment. Yep, less money at first. But in exchange, you get that promise that your income will grow and your buying power will be protected for the long haul. And this leads us to a super important concept, the break-even point. Think of it like a race. The fixed annuity gets a head start, but the IPA is slowly catching up. The break-even point is that exact moment when the smaller but growing IPA payments finally overtake the larger but static fixed annuity payments. Whether this trade-off makes sense really depends on how long you plan to be in retirement and what you think inflation's going to do. And a chart like this makes it so clear. See how in the early years, the fixed annuity pays out more in total? But watch what happens as time goes on. At some point, in this case around the 15-year mark, the total income from the IRA catches up and then pulls ahead. For anyone planning on a long retirement, this long-term view is everything. Okay, we've covered the good stuff and the big trade-off, but to make a really smart decision, you have to look at the downsides head-on. No financial product is perfect, and you better believe IPAs have some very specific risks and limitations. So let's just run through them. First, that lower starting income we keep talking about. Second, liquidity. Once you buy an annuity, that money is committed. It's locked in. You can't just call up and ask for a chunk of it back for an emergency. Then there's the inflation lag. The adjustments only happen once a year. And of course, there's opportunity cost. If inflation turns out to be super low for the next 20 years, well, you would have been better off with that higher fixed payment. And finally, and this is a big one, you are relying on an insurance company to be financially sound for decades. You're counting on them to be there to make those payments 30 years from now.
So at the end of the day, it all boils down to this one simple question. What do you value more? Is it maximizing your income today? Getting the biggest check you can right now? Or is it the peace of mind that comes with guaranteeing your purchasing power for decades to come? There's no single right answer for everyone, but understanding that question, that's the first step to securing your retirement.